Hello everybody! I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. What is this? Our third workshop, but the second one with another artist's work. I'm really excited. Today we are using Happy Camper Casey's pattern. Yay! So pretty. So if you haven't gotten, you can download that over on my website, burnsavvy.com, up in the materials tab in the right hand corner. It says this. Hello everybody, good to see you all. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, sorry, hang on. Got a million alarms on my phone and I forget to turn some off. Anyway, I am so glad everybody's here. Hello. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to say thanks for being here. I'm so happy to see everybody. I've had so much fun these last couple of times. And I'm Janny Lisenby with Red Roof Barn LLC, and my website is burnsavvy.com. If you're new to pyrography, go check it out. And today we are burning Happy Camper Casey's design. I'm very excited about it. So I'm going to turn this around. If you get sick, close your eyes, okay? Here we go. All right. Let's see. Oh, Raquel, you're just here to chat this time. Try to burn tomorrow. That sounds good. That sounds good. Yay, you made it this week. I'm so happy to hear that. Very, very good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Actually, I'm going to trim that down a little bit more before I transfer it. I might zoom out here a little bit. I think it's a little bit close. Can't find the pattern. Okay, if you can't find the pattern, it's on, if you go to the materials tab under patterns and you click on that, then it should show up in a list. Just scroll down and you will see the cactus pattern and then a mountain pattern that was My Art of Gold, and then she will be I believe the third pattern down if you need to find that. All right, I'm going to scoot this back out just a little bit. How big should we make it? I think that depends on how big you're going to make your wood-burn piece in the end. So this piece that I've got, I'm using a piece of poplar wood. This is about 4 to 5 inches. Hang on, I've got a measuring tape right here. Yeah, 4.5 inches. So you procrastinated and you're printing now. That's funny. I'm usually that way. So this one is, you know, if you have a 4 to 5 inch thing, you can do it here. You can really size it any size that you want. I tried to make it so you could download the PDF or you could download the JPEG. And the JPEG, you can just pop that into a Word document or some other kind of word editing thing and resize it that way. If you double click on it, usually it'll pop up something that says crop to this size or change the size to that or whatever. So anyway, give that a shot. But this one, this is a 4.5 inch piece of wood, and I printed this out. I think it was about a 4 inch size is what I ended up making this. So while everybody is popping on, hello, more people. While people are popping on and I'm transferring, I'd like you guys to tell me if you would rather see this in line art shading or the regular smooth traditional shading, or maybe stippling. I don't know. I haven't done that one yet. And for those of you who want to know, this is carbon paper. You can use graphite paper. Last week, somebody brought that up. Apparently, carbon paper is a little bit a little less forgiving than graphite paper in the sense that you can't erase it super well. But graphite paper transfers way easy, and the problem with that might be that when you put your hand on it, sometimes it transfers your hand on it if you rub too hard. So you just have to be careful that way. With the carbon paper, you don't have to worry too much about that. But if you don't burn over it, it can stain the wood. So that's the biggest difference between graphite paper and carbon paper. Either one is just fine. Let's see here. We've got a vote for smooth or sibling. Okay. Awesome. When you say you don't know the difference, is that between uh, the graphite paper and the paper, or is that between like sibling and line and things like that? No. You'd love to any method that I want to teach. Yay! Okay, very cool. Let's see. Okay. Flower on there. So much in this design. It's so fun. Didn't she do such a beautiful job? Thank you again for the pattern. I just think you did such a beautiful job on this flower girl. line art. Ah, okay. More votes for line art. Line art would be really good for this one. There we go. Oh, you've always bought graphite paper. Yeah, carbon paper is different. It really is. Um, I bought some carbon paper before I knew the difference, and I bought so much of it. I don't, I don't, I don't buy anything else for a while, but I have used graphite paper in the past, and I remember it being uber sensitive, but so is the carbon paper. So really, it's just a matter of kind of what your preference is on this. So there you have it. Let's see, the difference between the two line arts you mentioned. Oh, I see. So I was talking about doing a smooth shading where it's kind of that traditional tonal shading. And then the line art is basically, let's see here. There it is. Line art is kind of similar to this, where you shade with lines instead of with a regular gradient. And then stippling is where you shade with dots, and that's really fun. I always overthink everything too. You are not alone. And yes, you favor line art, of course. This is your lovely line art design. I mean, even as it stands, this piece could just be done. You girls all did such a beautiful job on your patterns. I am so delighted to get to play with them. Let's see, how much did I get on here? There, I missed a few lines here. You'd love to see some shading. Ooh, more line art, line art. Carbon paper is sensitive. Tattoo stencil, yes, and it definitely is more sticky. It actually has a wax in it, and that's the thing. If you're not careful, it can stain your wood. So, just gotta be careful. And you can reuse all of this stuff, the carbon paper, the wax paper, all that. Let's see here. You know what? I just realized I put this in the wrong spot. You're not going to see her eye there. So, yay for mistakes. Ugh. You know what? For the sake of time, I'm not going to erase this right now. I'm going to turn it over. believe someone asked last time, what do you do when you make a mistake? And I said, well, after you cry, then you can fix it. So anyway, we will try this again. There we go. Move that back up so it's out of the comments. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, take 2. So that should give those of you who procrastinated a little more time to get your stuff up. And I'd love to know how many of you tonight are burning with me and how many of you are just here for the fun, here for the art, the community. There we go. Oh no, my tape just came up. Okay, there we go. I'm going to get another piece of tape. Make sure that stays right where I want it. Hold on, I already did the flower, so I'll just tape it there. That'll work. Okay. Oh, and that didn't quite transfer, so I'm going to lift that up real quick and get it. There we go. 3rd time's the charm, right? Okay. I might do a mix of line art with a little bit of traditional tonal shading. That might be kind of fun. Try something new. There we go. With this one, it's got so much gorgeous detail. I think I'm going to have to check it a little more often to make sure I actually transfer everything. There we go. Okay, we're getting a good looking pattern now. Good looking transfer, I should say. The other thing to check, since my paper is not the same as my pattern, the carbon paper is not as big, I need to make sure that I'm not pushing over here where there's no transfer paper underneath it. Oh, and I had somebody ask me the other day, they said, do you prefer to draw on the wood directly or use the transfer paper? And my answer is basically, it depends. How's that for an answer? If I am doing a pattern like this, for sure, I want to use the transfer paper. If I'm doing text where it matters the actual style of lettering as opposed to hand lettering, then I will print that off and trace it. But usually, if I can help it, I like to just draw it on. Let's see, where did I leave off? Right there. I just can't get over how pretty this girl is. I think you did such a beautiful job, Megan. Okay. Very close. Did I get everything here? Got the big stuff. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to go back through and look and see. Oh, there were lots more comments. I'm using an embossing tool. Thank you. Who's answering? Sorry, I didn't realize that the comments got stuck. Let's see here. Where did I leave off here? Your eraser's a nub now. Yes, I totally understand that. Yep. And you wondered about the knot. Yep, that was me. Happy little accidents. Yes, because we're Bob Ross in it, and I love that. Yes, everybody catch up. Let's see here. Okay. People are burning. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Okay, yes. In case you guys want to know, this is an embossing tool. Some people call it a nail daughter because if you go get your nail done, it'll put that make pretty drawings on there. You can also I think it's been called a star daughter too. Anyway, but there you go. Double ball stylus embossing tool. Yes, and it doesn't matter which side you use. Sometimes I use the large side. Okay, let's see here. What type of tip should we get out? So I think the vote was line art for the most part. Yes, a mechanical pencil will work too. Okay, sorry, catching up there. All right, so if you are going to shade, I would do one of the shading tips, but I'm thinking for this pretty girl, we're actually going to switch it out for a ballpoint. I have a teeny tiny little ballpoint. Let's see, can you guys see that? There we go. See how tiny that is? Anyway, so I think that's what I'm going to be using tonight. Plug that in, get it hot. And I'm going to put her name right there, so in case you guys don't remember, go give her a follow. She's amazing. I love Megan. Okay, let's see. There we go. And the tool is hot. So also another thing, in case you missed it on the last ones, I like to prop my hand up on a bean bag so that my hand is the same level as whatever piece I'm working on. And that really, really helps me to get less hand cramping. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead. Let's see. Out of 5, that seems a bit hot tonight. So I'm going to turn it down to a 4, 4.25 maybe. Oop, there we go. And my hand is shaky again tonight. Believe it or not, I've got these gloves I wear and they actually work really well to help steady my hand when it gets all shaky. So I'm going to bust out my glove. It's not hot yet, but there we go. Okay, now we're in business. Here we go. Ooh, much better. Get rid of that shakiness. There we go. What type of glove? This is actually just a basic leather work glove. I find the ones from like Home Depot and Lowe's, they're real thick and super bulky, and I get zero control with that. But some of the other gloves, I don't get enough protection. These are just like $3 Harbor Freight special. I tend to get blisters, so I have a little, actually a heat guard inside of my leather glove, and it all seems to work out beautifully. Okay. And you guys are all so patient with me. I appreciate that. I never know exactly how I'm going to burn it. At least so far I haven't. I just kind of decided on the spot. So that's half the fun for me, though. I love the spontaneity of just trying this or trying that or just doing something. You get shaky too. Those shakes. I didn't used to get so shaky, but my hand gets tired quicker now. I have to do my artiste exercises to keep my hand from getting all wobbly. Let's see. I'm going to turn that. I'm fighting a little bit of the grain here. I did already give this a light sanding, so that should knock off a few of the obnoxiousnesses that show up here. Yes, love trying new things. I think that is one of the greatest joys of life, is just trying new things, being brave, get out there. It's so fun. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to put my pattern up here just so I can look at her, because I think she's pretty. There we go. Kind of wanted to see how you angled those eyelashes. There we go. Oh, hi, Patty. The eyes are probably one of my, not probably, they're my favorite part to draw on the human face. Probably of any humanness at all. I love eyes. I feel like eyes just, they say they're the window to the soul, and I agree. I think it's just amazing, the muscle and the different colors, and how you can have light blue eyes and they will still be completely different than anybody else's light blue eyes. I just think they're fascinating. How am I so fast? Am I fast? I'm not feeling super fast, but I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know. Practice. I do this a lot. Burn, burn, burn. Okay, let's see here. So I'm just doing some fine little filler inners here. I love faces. All right. Now, I want this to be a little bit darker at the bottom of the eyebrow, and I want to work my way up. So I'm actually going to turn it upside down because I like to pull it towards me. So I'm going to start at the bottom and just lightly pull that up. Some people say never push. I have seen some beautiful artwork done and they push, pull, whatever. The biggest thing is to not break your machine. If you're going to push, it needs to be a very gentle glide that direction. Nah, you're so slow, it's painful. Oh, hang in there. You'll get it. Oh, yes. You like working upside down? That sounds so funny. You say, I like working upside down too. And I just imagine somebody literally hanging upside down. That's funny. My silly imagination. You pull towards you too. Yes. Yes. I think the first time I read that, it was in that Sue Walter book. Can't remember what it's called right now. But it's a very popular wood-burning book, all about shading and stuff. When I first got it, I had no idea what she was talking about. It was so over my head. And by the time I finally taught myself how to do it, I go back and read it. I'm like, oh yes, that makes so much sense. I know exactly what she's talking about. Okay, so I'm going to now that I've got some of the more gentle, finer things in, I'm going to crank my heat up to a 5 and get going a little bit faster. That's another way that I work fast is once you get comfortable with the technique, with your pen, all that kind of stuff, you can turn your heat up and move faster. And it's just one way, as long as you trust your hand to pretty much do what you want it to do, you can crank that heat as high as you like. And a lot of you guys already know I love working with high heat. To me, it's really fun and I love the smell. You mix it up, push and pull. Sounds good. As far as I'm concerned, if it works for you, you should do it. I do a lot of swinging side to side too. Let's see here. You too. Yay! Yeah, you use high heat most of the time. I find it more satisfying. So that's probably the pyro in us. Like, oh yeah, burn it, baby. So yummy. Oh, a pro with my glove. Thank you. You always bare hand. I do think that the bare hand is it's easier to hold the pen in general, but when my hand gets shaky, I actually find that the glove kind of holds it still. There we go. And she had some little dots on this fleur, so I'm going to add those in too. There we go. I can't wait to see how everybody's going to do these patterns, by the way. Especially this one, because it's got, the facial features, and that's so different than a lot of people do, A lot of people steer away from drawing people. You love high heat too? Yes. High heat is delicious, if anyone wants to know. It's fabulous. Okay, there we go. All right, and I still want to, I'm going to go a little bit higher still. So now, in case you're following along with me, I'm up at a 6. Heat 6. Oh, and I'm using a Colwood detailer with a small ballpoint tip. The beanbag is genius. Thank you. I was dying one time burning some just burning some things, and I was like, gosh, I got to get my hand up to the level of my wood or I'm going to die. At least my hand is. So I grabbed a beanbag, and then my daughter, I was teaching her how to sew, and she decided to go ahead and make me a truckload of beanbags. So I have like 12, and I do use them. When I was burning the skull last February, some of you may remember, I was burning a skull and I needed to prop my hand all the way up there. And so I put down like a piece of wood and then put some bean bags on top of that. It was like gosh, I can't remember the size of the wood, but it was a chunk. It was probably like a 4-inch by 4-inch block. That's not right. It was a box. That's what it was. I propped my arm up on a box. And then I used the bean bags. And that also helps to steady my hand. So if you've got the shakes like me, that might help you. High heat for the win. Yes. Oh, you're right. Let's see. You have a Colwood and a razor tip. Are you burning with both of them tonight? You have the razor tip cranked all the way up to a 10 and it's not burning dark. I think a lot of razor tips burn dark, don't they? I wonder if there's something wrong with it. I don't know. Okay. Oh, she's so pretty, Megan. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A 10 and it's not dark. It doesn't seem quite right. Something seems amiss. All right, I'm going to turn mine up again. I'm at a 6.5 now. You've had it replaced twice and they say you're using it wrong? Well, gosh, Jen, don't use it wrong. Sheesh. Oh, no, I'll bet you anything there's just something wrong. Maybe there's a short in the wire or something. I wonder. Oh, I'm getting blobby now. All right, back down to a 6. I'll behave myself. Had a razor tip with no issues. Yeah, I wonder what's going on. You must have had a machine made on a Monday. Somebody wasn't happy when they made that machine. There are lots of good machines out there, though. I mean, you've got what you've got the Burn Master, and all its different levels. You've got Colwood and all its different levels. The Razor Tip, the Tech Chic, the Optima, and then of course Walnut Hollow has their creative wood burner. You guys should all pop on and tell me what kind of burner you're using. I always find that fascinating. What you got? What's your toy? What are you playing with? An Optima. We've got an Optima. And then you already told us, Jen, that you were working with a Colwood and a razor tip. Whoop. I got to a soft spot of wood and just dug a hole right there. But I'm going to blend it out and we're going to go with the happy little accidents there. There we go. Yes. Got a Colwood with interchangeable tips that don't heat sometimes because the heat or the metal isn't touching. And that is very true. They're all just electrical machines. Yeah, Super Pro's a good machine. You're doing it with the Walnut Hollow Creative Tool. Check you out. That's awesome. And a Super Pro Walnut Hollow Creative. That's great. I lost patience for the for the solid point tips. And I love my wire nib machine. You have the Chinese version of the Tech Chic? That's great. Everything on the machine is made in China. That's awesome. I'd love to see these when you guys are done. You guys should post them. Use that Get Burn Savvy hashtag so I can see it. And then, of course, tag me and Megan so we don't miss it. I love to see what everybody does. When I'm teaching my workshops, it's always interesting because I usually do a pattern I usually don't do it Bob Ross style because I get carried away and then they're like, we don't know how to do the shading, and then I feel bad. So anyway, but we've had but when I have my students using the pattern, sometimes people will fill it in with different techniques, or they'll just change it up just enough that it's not my pattern anymore, you know? And I love it. I just think that's one of the most beautiful things about art is just, we're going to draw a girl's face today. And this will be a different girl for every person when they come out of that room. It's fantastic. And there we go. This is really fun to burn, Megan. I'm loving this pattern. Okay. Getting to that knot, that fun little knot. I think I'm just going to have to shade that section. So for now, I'm going to come back to that, but keep smoothing this guy out. And if any of you have problems with the lines are relaxing, yes, I agree. They're really fun. The whole thing is just zen. Woodburning is just zen. If any of you have problems with hot fingers, because my pens get hot, especially when I'm not using a fixed tip, the part where it connects in tends to get really hot. And anyway, of course, these things help, and there are some thicker, what do you call them, cork handles that you can use, but then I feel like I'm writing with a giant permanent marker and I have a lot less control. But it's still good. But I love these gloves. But something I discovered recently, like several months ago, but recently, I discovered that you can use stylist heat gloves. So these hair salon people will use them for when they have to hold curling irons or flat irons and things like that. And it just goes over your fingers. Maybe if we have time at the end, I'll show you. But those just go over the fingers, and those have been really great for helping protect my fingers from getting blisters. So there are several good options. There we go. You've got heat gloves too. Yes, they are super helpful. These look thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. That's great imagery right there. I love that. They're actually fairly thin. They're not too thick. I have blistered through these, which is why I have the heat guard in it for my finger at the end of the inside the glove at the end of the finger that gets the most heat. There we go. Oh goodness. I think I'm hitting a slightly harder bit of grain just because that knot is so close. So I'm going to turn my heat up again, because I find when I go too slow, my lines get blobby. But when I go too fast, they dig in. So, ooh, but it's getting red hot. Can you guys see that? Probably not with my hand behind it. Maybe with something white behind it. I love when it gets all red. To me, that's really fun. Oop. Softer spot of wood. I'll blend that in. Oop. There we go. More of those happy little accidents, right? There we go. And here in just a little bit, I'm going to start doing the line art shading. And because I'm using the smaller one, the smaller tip, should be fun to get some real fine little lines in there. So I'm excited about that. Just roll with the softwood spots. Yep, exactly. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you know, don't bother to fix the mistakes until, when I mean fix the mistakes, I mean don't sand it off or chisel anything until after you have had a chance to try to just blend it in. Because half the time when I make a mistake, I have done more damage to the wood trying to fix it than I did when I actually tried to blend it in, and I find I can blend it in more often than not. So that's something to consider. Make a mistake, you might be able to just work it into your piece. Yep. Another soft spot. There we go. Almost there on the lines. And then we can start doing other things. And I tend to be one of those people who bounces around. I'll stop and hyper focus on one section, and then I will go sometimes entirely different side of the art piece and just work on that. What do you guys do? Do you guys usually just go from left to right, from top to bottom, or just all over the place? Start in one spot. How do you guys usually work that? Make it work? Is that dude on runways? Yes. Make it work. That's right. There we go. Oops. There we go again. Gotta blend in that soft spot. There we go. Let's see. You start in one spot and move outward from there. Yup. Up, down, round and round. You're all over the place. That's awesome. There are times when I'm doing portraits, I can't decide whether I should start with the eyes or end with the eyes, because the eyes mean so much to me, you know? So I sometimes feel like, oh, that's sacred space. Don't touch it. Make sure the rest of the piece works first. And other times I'm like, if the eyes don't work, then it's not worth finishing the rest of the piece, you know? You're methodical. You work clockwise bit by bit. Yup. That's awesome. There we go. Oh, do everything from one angle that you can. Yeah, I've tried that too. And in the end, I still then jump around and I come back to the angle. Okay, now I'm going to turn this back down to maybe a 5. And I'm going to start adding to this already beautiful goodness. Okay. I think I'm going to start here. You always do eyes last? Yes. You always angle work lettering? Yes. Yes, angle work is great for lettering. I totally concur there. I'm going to turn this back upside down and pull. And I can get more fine lines that way. Now, something with line shading is it tends to, at least for me, I feel like my stuff looks better when I shade in the direction of whatever the texture would have been. So if her face is rounded, I try to make my lines slightly rounded. Oh, I made that line bigger. Well, we'll just make them all bigger here, shall we? There we go. And we're going to turn this one a slightly different direction, but her neck would probably look a little more curved. Oh, I'm coming off. Sorry. Sometimes it's tricky on these lives, making sure you don't wander too far off the screen or wander down into the comments so that you guys can't see. I know that's one of my frustrations when I'm watching a live. I'm like, I can't see. Everybody's talking. But I want to hear what they have to say, so I don't want them to stop talking. I just want whatever's in that screen to be out of that spot. Okay. There we go. And I'll probably be back to this section just because I don't think it has the contrast that I want it to have. So I'll probably just thicken up these lines a little bit. I have to say, I do think that that's one thing as pyrography artists we can all do a little bit better on making sure that we have contrast, that things don't blend in, just as a whole. I think we get carried away and add too much, or we're too afraid to add stuff, or we just don't add it. And so then it just kind of blends into everything else. There we go. Okay. I'm going to get into these lips because they look so fun. Here we go. And I think I'm going to work that part from upside down. All about high contrast. Yes, you are, Megan. You are not one of those who struggles with contrast. You do a lovely job of that. Your tattoo shop names is high contrast? Yes. Awesome. I've been told several times I should do tattoos. Woodburning and tattooing, it just seems to be like they kind of go hand in hand. You know, it's like the designs for a tattoo work well for the designs on a wood burn piece, you know? At least when I'm looking on Pinterest, it seems like, oh, wow, that one looks a lot like tattoo. Okay, there we go. Add a little bit more. There we go. So I'm kind of mixing the two. I'm kind of doing some line art and I'm doing, or not, yeah, some line art shading and I'm doing some of the tonal shading, but here we go. Jen, that's hilarious. So they tell you that you should be a tattoo artist, but then your response is, you can't sand a person's skin, but you can sand wood. I think that's hilarious. Oh, you go only get on Pinterest for recipes. I use Pinterest for everything. I love Pinterest. I found Pinterest before I found Instagram, and I had to really get used to Instagram. And now I love Instagram too, but there we go. Okay, I promise she will not have a mustache by the time this is all done. So it kind of looks like it right now. Oh, refocus the camera. Yeah, let's see here. Let me know, did that work? Is it clear? Let's see, did it work? Use arnica gel and wear a brace at night when it hurts. That's for your hand for when it hurts. Oh, let's see. I missed a question. Can we change the flower? Would that be too much changing? Oh, go ahead. The whole point of this is to just enjoy yourselves. You should go look and see what who was it? A couple of people did last week's pattern and changed things up. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that. Use BioFreeze on your forearm. Yes, when it's painful. I love that you guys are sharing your tips. I think that's fabulous. There we go. Oh, I am running short on time. My goodness, time just flies. Oh, darn. I'm going to have to do most of this later. And just so you guys know, I don't know if you guys are following Happy Camper, but if you're not, you should. She also has another account, Happy Desk, and it's really cool. She does like social media, graphic design, marketing, branding. She does all kinds of amazing stuff. She's co-hosting the first ever Burn Club craft fair this weekend, and that's going to be amazing. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do it this time, but she's got some really great stuff. So go give her a follow, Happy Camper KC. Go follow her social media account at Happy Desk. I believe she's on Facebook too. She just does amazing stuff. Let's see. How long can you all burn in one session? Oh, I've burned several hours sometimes. You burn till your neck hurts? I hope you stretch that neck. I should do a series on artist health there. 45 minutes, a break every 10 minutes. It really is good. Like, you should take a break. You really should. And yes, you do burn hot. It's important to let the pen rest. Megan, you had a pen melt on you. That was crazy. I remember that. Hours until your tendonitis flares up. Yep. I pretty much burn until the kids don't let me anymore. Till they're like, Mom. Or until the hubs is like, hey, it's really late. You should go to bed. That's generally when I stop. So I mean, I've definitely burned longer than I probably should have for my health, but I'm going to do these eyes here. I just think they're so cool.